I don't sell sales training. Help other people is the best way to help you. You know, Zig Ziglar says that. So when I first started, I was knocking on doors, you know, you better make it or you better use it or you won't be around anyway. I probably wouldn't say the F word, but basically I'd say, fuck what other people think. Stop smoking weed and stop hanging around the dipshits and stop thinking, you know, that I'm not going to go anywhere. Get rid of the idiots. Most people avoid problems. Look for them. Solve them.
The number one motivational speaker under 40 in the world. Got 1 billion views.
I am so excited to be here today with this king, Brad Lea. You will probably know him from being the host of a #1 podcast in the world. It is epic. It's called Dropping Bombs. Brad runs Lightspeed TV, which is an online sales training course that teaches thousands of people every year how to become better salespeople and find success. So I know you guys are going to love this today because we are going to dig into that and so many other things and help you to find more success in your life too. His company is regularly doing over 20 million a month in revenue. And today I'm sitting down to figure out how Brad became the professional salesperson in his world and how he built a multi-million-dollar business despite never actually having graduated from high school. He has rocked it. I want to hear all about it. Brad, how are you?
Man, if I was any better, I'd be you. But I got to tell your fans, I got to tell your people, it's not Lightspeed TV. If you go there, that's a porn site. It's Lightspeed VT for virtual training. Don't go to TV.
I love it. So it's VT, guys. And by the way, the links are below if you're already like, oh my God, I want to know. I love it. So Brad, look, something that really interested me when I was researching about you and I was reading about how you built Lightspeed VT, I read that you started by knocking on doors, going from company to company, trying to sell them on your sales training course. When did you realize that door knocking was a viable strategy for long-term growth? And I know you hate more than one question, but I'm going to throw it in. And why did you change?
Well, number one, I think knocking on doors is the beginning of every endeavor, isn't it? And it's just what version of knocking? Did you send an email? Did you call? Did you DM? Did you leave a post in their group? Or did you actually knock on their door? So door knocking could mean basically just contacting, and the contact is the beginning of it all. However, I don't sell sales training. Here's what happened. I was running sales teams pretty much my whole life. I became unbelievable at turning someone into a badass sales machine, closer, relationship builder, networker, time management artist, like the whole 9 yards. Like I was just producing kick-ass people for this company left and right. I could take you out of Burger King or some other company and plug you in, and freaking within 3 months, man, you're kicking ass. So I did it once for a guy that was making minimum wage. So I thought to myself, man, that felt good because I watched his whole life change. His kids came in like down and depressed in old shoes and old clothes. They got made fun of at school because they didn't have any new clothes because he was just minimum wage worker. So once that changed, man, I saw this family flourish. I thought, this is awesome. I'm going to go really start a sales training company, right? I want to go show other people how to do this. And by the way, ironically, you hear the cliche, you know, help other people is the best way to help you. You know, Zig Ziglar says that. So until that point in my life, I was always worried about me and focused on me. And that's the first time I went, wow, I want to help these people learn to do this. And I wasn't even thinking money. I was just thinking help other people. And bam, that's when really success started coming my way. But at the end of the day, I went out on the road to train people and realized that the training wasn't effective and I couldn't figure out why. And then I found the 4 key ingredients to effective training that most people are missing and most companies most certainly are missing. And that's why a lot of people are left untalented or, you know, whatever you want to call them, but skillless or uncertain is a better word. So what I did was I started inventing this interactive web-based training technology called Lightspeed VT for myself. And then I put my own content in it. And you're right, it was sales training. And then I went out on the road and started selling it, and it worked, right? The four ingredients were delivered. The four ingredients are good content, repetition, practice, and accountability. If you don't have one of those, you don't really have training, you have exposure. Anyway, so it started to work again. Now I was producing freaking badasses once again, but I was doing it with this technology, virtually, and it started working again. But then I ran into a bunch of big name trainers, right, with bigger budgets and bigger histories. And like, I tried to convince everybody and close everybody that I was better than all these other people. But once someone falls in love with a particular brand or person, it's kind of hard to get them to switch. So rather than fight uphill battle, because I didn't have any money, I thought I'll just go close the people that they're already interested in on using my technology. And then I'll tell the expert where they are so they can get their first sale, right? Because they want my system. They want the virtual training. They just don't want my training. They wanted someone else's. So I went and closed the other people on using my software. I took my shit out, put their shit in, showed them where the customers were that wanted them. They go and close deals. And next thing you know, I kind of invented the online learning space. This was 21 years ago. And then I just started saying, screw it. I don't need to be the expert. I'll just go get all the experts. So since then I got, Zig Ziglar. Back in the day, there are different names: Tom Hopkins, John Maxwell, Zig Ziglar. I got Tony Robbins, Damon John, Grant Cardone. People you haven't heard of is more impressive. Like, anyone can take a big name brand and show them how to make millions of dollars online training. Who can take a nobody, a very unknown individual, and show them how to make millions of dollars in online training? Show them how to take this technology and build a training company. So I got more people that you've never heard of, but they're all using my technology. So that's how it started. And so, yes, when I first started, I was knocking on doors, literally and figuratively. I was out there trying to show people a better way to do it, but I was way ahead of my time. Nobody believed it. And literally, it took about 8 years to start rolling.
Wow, this is amazing. How did you then, you've got, with that software, so you're saying, at the beginning you had a hard time with it, but then how did you scale your business past that point?
Well, you scale businesses by focusing on two things: people and technology. So I did the same thing. In the future, I believe there's only going to be two kinds of companies that exist. And this is a fact. So if you're not in one of these two kinds of companies, you probably won't exist in 30, 40 years anyway. Now, one is the ones who use technology, and two, the ones who make technology. So you better make it, or you better use it, or you won't be around anyway. The next one is people, man. If you plan on growing, do you have a process to develop your people? Do you have a plan, a system? Or do you have an exposure program where you're just going to expose them to some information, send them out there and let them get slaughtered, hurt your brand, sue you, whatever. So I help companies, develop these training systems, which is different than just what most companies do, that just develop people like they're going out of style. Now you got me back in freaking, light speed mode. What was your question?
How did you scale the business?
Oh yeah. I scaled the business just by continuing to do more and get better. And then scale, to me, when I teach companies and people and entrepreneurs to scale their business, it's really people and technology. So like, for example, how many hours do we have in a day? How many hours do you have in a day, Natasha?
Well, we all have 24 hours in a day, but
no, that's a limited mindset. That is incorrect, young lady.
Really? What's the answer?
Well, I had 24 hours, and then I hired somebody and I bought 8 of theirs. So then I had 32 hours, and then I hired somebody and I got 8 of theirs. So now I've got 40 hours in a day. And then I just kept doing that until pretty soon I got 1,000 hours a day. Well, you can buy time, just, pay other people. So you take your money and you buy time. And then what's funny is then you take your time and you make more money, and pretty soon you get, hopefully, well off financially, and then you do whatever the fudge you want.
I love it. That is the best advice. That is amazing. I hope everyone is writing this down right now. Can we just tap into the mindset here for a second? Because I know
I'd love to.
Is for you're living this beautiful life. You're a family man. Plus, you've got this success around you. If you were to tell your younger self, some advice, you were to whisper it into his ear, or maybe into one of your kids' ears, you know, that like little thing that you just say, what would those words be to get to where you are now?
Well, literally, I probably wouldn't say the F word, but basically I'd say, fuck what other people think.
Wow.
Because that's really what limits people, is their opinion is so low that they value other people's opinion more than their own, and that'll cost us. So you have to develop a self-worth and a self-value that you believe your opinion is just as good as, you know, most people's. Now, again, don't confuse opinion with counsel. You know, they're two different things. You seek counsel, you'd be wise to listen to it. But if someone just gives you their opinion, hey, take it into consideration, but don't discount your own. So many people are afraid to try because they're worried about what other people think. They're worried about fear of judgment. They're worried about failure. And what is the craziest thing is failure's required. So you're avoiding what's required to get successful. Are you fucking stupid? Like, you're avoiding what's required to get successful. You say, I want to be successful, but I don't want to fail. Well, buddy, welcome to success. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Michael Jordan failed at basketball far more than I have, right? Compared to me, I've never failed at basketball because I've never tried. Now, again, when I say that, you know, to make a point, because I have failed miserably at basketball, just not as much as Michael, right? Look at Babe Ruth. You know, he struck out more times than anybody in the history of baseball, but nobody talks about the strikeouts. They talk about the home runs. So if he was afraid to strike out, there'd be no Babe Ruth. So at the end of the day, man, we as people, as individuals, I think we start to develop a mindset when we're young. And the problem with that is we start to believe, which is the key, what other people's opinions are. And we agree with it. And we make that agreement, and then it becomes reality. And now all of a sudden we're limited. You don't want to be limited in your mindset. Like when I say, how many hours do we have in a day? If someone's truly abundant and unlimited, they would say as many as I need, because that's the truth. You're not limited when it comes to, you know, building a business. Well, I only have so much time. Well, you just limited yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know why you'd limit yourself. Like, I try to unlimit myself. I catch myself saying shit like that. And I'm like, dude, you can't talk shit like that. Like, the most important person is you. Mm-hmm. You walk into a room, Natasha, and you tell everybody in that room, I believe I'm the most important person in this room. What do you think that room's going to think of you and say about you?
They're going to believe you because of your comment.
No, they will not. They will think you're a bitch.
Okay, yeah.
They'll think you're an arrogant, conceited bitch. and I'm here to say, why would anyone be offended that you find yourself to be extremely important? Now, is that the opposite of humble? I don't know. When I looked up the word humble, it basically said, you know, to have a low opinion of oneself, you know. Well, again, I don't have a low opinion of myself. I know that I'm a good dude. I'm out doing good things. Like I understand abundance, that there's no limit out there except for the ones we impose on ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so I've worked a lot on the mindset. So I was hoping when you said, let's talk about mindset. Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about mindset. But you threw out a question. What would I say to my younger self or my kids to make sure they succeeded and they were going to do my advice? Fuck what other people think.
That is unbelievable. So now we're going to tap more into the mindset.
Let's go.
So as you started to create every day, okay? What are you doing in your mind every day, in your body, in your ritual, in your daily working regime? What are you doing to create an abundance mindset?
Well, it's too late. If you're already doing it, it should have been something you did, not that you're doing. Now, there is eternal and perpetual, but like, dude, you be before you become. Right? You got to be that person, right? There was a kid, bad kid, wrong side of tracks. He was ultimately, you know, heading for jail. Not a good dude at all. So he goes in and he takes his SAT scores. SAT. Have you ever taken the SAT?
I know it. It's the SATs, right? It's
Yeah, you get the max score is 1600. They test all the kids in high school with their SATs to see how smart they are, et cetera, et cetera. This kid, wrong side of tracks. Everyone thought he was going to be a loser. He was out being a punk, being a dipshit, and freaking he took the SATs. Well, he got a 1496. Everybody couldn't believe it. His mom's like, "Did you cheat?" He said, "Mom, I swear I didn't cheat." School's like, "Holy shit, dude. Like, you're actually smart." And he thought to himself, I should probably take advantage of this and go to class, and start listening and stop smoking weed and stop hanging around the dipshits and stop thinking, that I'm not going to go anywhere. Let me take my opportunity here and freaking go to class and do it. Right. So he went on to graduate, honors, and got a degree from Harvard Law and became, this wonderful individual in life. Blew everybody else's mind out. Well, about 6 years after he had graduated, they called him and they said, "Hey, when you took the SAT scores, there was a glitch in our system. And we wanted to let you know that your actual score on the SAT was 700. And he's like, "What?" Yeah, well, it was the only time in history that there's the glitch in the system, and there was, a certain amount of people that got wrong scores. It was scoring wrong, and you didn't get a 1496. You got a 700. We just want to let you know. He said, "Okay, thank you." Now, why is it that matters? Well, because if he didn't start thinking like he was smart, in other words, that score told him he was smart.
Yes.
And literally, gave him the opinion that he's smart. So he said, "Wow, I'm smart." He started to believe he's smart. He didn't cheat on this. This is a score. So he started to do what smart people do. He started to be smart. And that's why he ended up getting it, because he did the things smart people do, right? Like action causes like result. That's all mindset. He didn't believe before. He believed whatever he believed. And that's what, kind of held him down. So as soon as he got tricked, but whatever, as soon as he believed something else, completely different outcome, right? That's mindset. What do you believe, I think, is the key. And the trick is, Natasha, most people, if they want to change what they're getting, they have to change what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And if you want to change what you're doing, you have to change what you believe. Mm-hmm. Do you know how to change what you believe? Mm-hmm. Do you?
I truly do. This is what I coach.
There's only one way to change what you believe, in my opinion. What do you think it is?
To believe what you to change what you believe is to do it, to start doing, to like.
No. Like, you believe whatever you believe right now. The only way to change what you believe is to get new information.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. To get new knowledge.
You have to, or you won't ever change what you believe, and you won't ever change what it is you do. Because the reason you do what you do and behave like you do is because you believe what you believe. For whatever reason, you believe it, you agreed with it, whether it was a negative comment or whether it was some sort of self-imposed limitation, hey, how would you like to make $1 million a day? Oh my God, that's impossible. Well, okay, I guess you can't now. But at the end of the day, it's not impossible. I used to think, $1 million a year was all the money in the world. And then when you start to make $1 million, you're like, well, it really isn't that much. And then it became $1 million a month. And it's like, well, wait a minute.
Just wanted to jump in here quickly and say I am so excited to announce that my new book, Be It Until You Become It, is out in August, and you can get your hands on a pre-order copy right now. It will be delivered to you when the book is released, but right now you can pre-order that book. And I just want to give you something, as well as getting the book as a gift from me to you. I am giving away a bonus Be It Until You Become It program with video content worth $500 right here as a gift for you for free for downloading and buying that new book today. When you get a copy of that book, just make sure you go back and put the receipt into the beituntilyoubecomeitbook.com website, where you'll be able to receive your free gift. And there is so much more epic content coming up for you until the book is released. Be It Till You Become It, as you can hear in the title, is about becoming the version of you that you want to become before you become them. It's about the neuroscience behind the law of attraction, the ancient wisdom behind the law of attraction, and everything that goes into you becoming that best version of you. It's my 12-step manual, the guide that I have done to become a best-selling author, from being broke and homeless to living in my dream homes. I was a single mom only 3 years ago. This is the bulletproof method that I have used to get to where I am now. You see, life is a movie. You get to choose your character and write your script. So who do you want to be? I hope you enjoy the book as much as I enjoyed writing it. The link is below.
This isn't that much either. And then how am I realizing that that's chump change now? $1 million a year, you're damn near broke, really. I mean, you're comfortable, but you're not rich for sure. So I used to think $1 million, you're richer than shit. Well, that's because like my capacity was low. Now my capacity is high. So all these people out there that think that's massive and they can't even think that big, you got to increase your capacity so it fills up. It's like a vacuum.
Absolutely. I love this topic. It's one of my favorite things to dive into, belief and self-belief, because once you are set in your ways, right? And by the time of the age about 30, all our habits have become us. That is who we are. You have to work extra hard. After the age of 25, you have to work double as hard as you did as when you were a kid to learn a language, to learn a new skill, but you still can. You can do any of it. You know,
Well,
talking about how easy go on, what you gotta.
Well, just so you know, like, you know why that is? Because when we were young, number one, our minds are more open, right? Number two, everything's repeated when we're young. Once you get to be an adult, you start to think you know everything. You stop learning, you stop seeking information. Then you form your beliefs and opinions, and then you form your habits, and you form your actions, and you form your choices, and then there you go. I always say, you know, the choices you make determine the road you'll take. But as kids, everything's repeated. How many times did you hear your ABCs?
Over and over and over.
Do you know them still?
Of course, they're imprinted in your mind.
Now think about, as an adult, how often do we hear things repeated?
Not so often unless you choose to.
Unless you choose to, but you don't know to, because you don't realize repetition is the key to learning. Practice is the key to mastery. So you have to have good content, repetition, practice, and accountability. There has to be all four of those. Like, imagine baking a cake, leaving out the egg. It ain't gonna come out right. Okay, so if you really want to develop yourself, you have to have good content, repetition, practice, and accountability. How many times, what's your favorite book? You know, how many times have you read it? Oh yeah, I read that book. People always say, I read that book. Once. So you basically picked up a little bit of information. You didn't master that book. You didn't study that book. You can't remember everything in that book. Why wouldn't you read it again and again and again and again? Like, would you want to go to church to some dude that read the Bible once? You want to go to his church?
You would want to go again and again and again to learn it if you want to learn that.
You'd have to. Well, that's why we learn better as kids also. So it's not only the mind's developing and it's more open, all the limitations haven't really been set in our heads yet. And ultimately, there's a lot of repetition as a kid.
So much. So in today's world where we are now, what are the common challenges that you see with your clients, with people around you, and how do you tell them to switch with their thinking, their thought process? Because as we know, thoughts become things. What you are thinking, what you are doing, and what you are feeling become your result. So it has to all be aligned. You can't just think it, right? You got to believe it through your feeling, add emotion to it. It's how the brain interlinks it all, and then take inspired action, right? So when you come across people who are struggling and they've got a challenge going on, what do you tell them? What do you say to help them with their thought process?
Follow me. I believe the best way to tell somebody what you're going to do is just to show them. So like, I lead by example. So ultimately, I don't say much to people like that. I just say, follow me. and let's roll. Now, if someone's interested, they'll do so. The people that are not interested, you can't change them. The only person that can change you is you. I always tell people, they always do, I'm like, hey, do you want me to introduce you to someone that can make you a millionaire? They're like, frick yeah. I say, go into the bathroom, make sure it's empty, close the door, look around, and you'll see that individual looking back at you. And when you do see that individual, fall in love, become best friends. That's your best friend. Friends support each other, right? Why are we not friends to ourselves? We procrastinate, we limit ourselves, we doubt ourselves. Like, you don't do that if you're a friend. So basically, you don't even like yourself is the problem. So I'd teach them my secret 6 steps to go and start to like yourself again. And then the core of it all is relationships. So at the end of the day, you have to have a relationship with yourself first. Then you go start to build other relationships. And then other relationships unlock resources. And those resources, if properly applied, unlock doors and opportunity that are limitless. So relationships, the more hands you shake, the more money you make. Trust me. The more people you know, the bigger your flow. So the mindset is critical, but a lot of times it takes a while for people to understand and not doubt and not place limitations on ourselves. Like, if you ever thought to yourself, that sounds like bullshit. Oh, that's that law of attraction, hocus pocus bullshit. Dude, the only people that laws of attraction don't work for are the ones that don't believe in it.
Mm-hmm. It's working all the time. It's happening whether you know it or not. It is going on. It's like the law of reciprocation. It's like any given law is going on whether you know it or not. Some people are just already doing it and they didn't even know it.
But if I were you, listening to your description, thoughts, you said something, but you said thoughts and something. What'd you say?
Some things.
Now see, I think Napoleon
Hill
got that a little bit wrong. I do. Thoughts become emotions. Thoughts become feelings. Feelings and thoughts become things. If you don't have the emotion part, you don't have the feeling part, nothing's going to manifest. So you have to have, you think about it. When you think about something, that's what stirs the emotion. So it's thought, then emotion. That mixture produces the thing. And the stronger the emotion, the quicker the manifestation. So you have to think about what you want, which most people don't do. I've asked people, what do you think success looks like? They're like, oh, I'm like, you've never thought about it. You don't know exactly what it is. You don't have a damn map. You don't have a damn map. That's unbelievable. Like, dude, if I told you there's a $10 million in a cabin in upstate New York, you can have it. What would be the first question out of your mouth?
Where is it?
How do I get there?
Yeah.
Right. But yet when it comes to success, we don't even know what it looks like. That's crazy. That's like me telling you to go into a room and find somebody and you just walk in there and start looking for someone. You have no idea who they are. Makes zero sense. So it's just not wise. If you really want to attract something, or I say accomplish something, you got to figure out what it looks like first. Then once you see what it looks like, really see what it looks like in detail, then start to attach the feeling of it. Like, what would it feel like? You have to imagine the feeling and put yourself in the feeling and almost make sure that that feeling of emotion is real. Like, you're really there. You be in that jet, you be in that house, you be with that, person that you want, whatever. What does it feel like? Once that starts happening, boom, the thinking stuff starts to freaking materialize, and the people and opportunities start to freaking shift in your direction. The problem is most people don't take the action, because again, without action, knowledge is just potential, right? So without that action, they're kind of screwed. And then that's where other poor beliefs come in. What happens? People start to say, yeah, dude, you didn't graduate high school. You probably should be thinking about just getting a regular job. Oh, starting a business for yourself, huh, dude? It's rough out there. Be careful. You could end up broke. I started broke, so I was never afraid of anything. And I'm still not. Like, people say, dude, why are you so like, you act like there's, never a problem. Well, there isn't a problem. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You go broke? Shit, I started that way.
You know what? This is how I always see things. People who struggle and don't get to where they want to go is because they don't realize that a problem or an obstacle that you're facing is just a series of smaller tasks that you need to get through. It's like, just understand that this thing needs to be broken down into smaller chunks, manageable bite-sized things. I always say to people, right, with it, take 3 tasks a day. Choose 3 things to do towards your main goal. So if your main goal is to be successful, to make $1 million a year, a month, let's go up. You know, if you want to really up that game, whatever it is, you need to take 3 small goals a day. That's over 1,096 goals a year. Your side hustle is your main hustle.
Here's a problem with that, though. You got to set realistic goals. Too many people are taught to make these big goals, these 10x goals. Guys, your mind understands the difference between a win and a loss. Now, if you set $1 million goal and you came in at 950, is that a win or a loss?
Oh, it's a win.
It is not a win, and your mind knows it. That is a loss. You said $1 million, it was 950. That's a loss. So when we're setting these high goals and we're constantly missing the goals, subconsciously, we are recording these misses. If you lost everything all the time, what would that make you? What if you won all the time? What would that make you?
Fucking winner.
Right. So if you lower those goals to reasonable shit, as long as you accomplish them every day, now you win every single day. You're a winner, and you'll start to act like it and feel like it. So these 6 steps that I kind of developed to get myself kind of to this level, I call them the sacred 6. You want to hear them?
We absolutely want to hear them. Let's go.
Okay. So just like if you got in a fight with your new husband and you wanted to make amends, what would you do? First,
you talk to him.
You'd apologize.
Oh, yeah, that.
Okay, so now remember, this is inward. We have to do this to ourselves because it's not someone else we're trying to make up with. It's ourselves. So first thing you do is apologize to myself. Exactly. To yourself. For what? For lying, cheating, stealing, and all the dipshit stuff you've done in life to yourself and others. So just apologize. Okay. Then forgive yourself. So step 1, apologize and forgive. Step 2, commit to do what you say you're going to do from now on. If you feel anxious about it, it's because you already know you don't. Well, just have solace in that you're the one that gets to make the decision what to commit to. So just stop committing to shit you're not going to do. You have to commit to do what you say you're going to do. That's step 2. Step 3 is rack up the wins. Lower your targets, man. Win every day. You can still have big stretch goals, man. But if I'm going to lose, like, my goal's 100 million 5 years from now. Well, if I lost one time in 5 years because I came out to 98, I'm just going to reset my fucking goals 5 years down the road. The big ones are okay, but make sure they're few and far between, man. Do a bunch of little baby ones and you'll make it all the way up there. So step 3 is rack up the wins. You just got to lower your goals. Like, can you talk to one more person? Can you walk one more mile? Can you make one more phone call? You know what I'm saying? Like, just little. So every day you're winning and winning and winning and winning. And subconsciously you start to feel more like a winner. And then you start to actually look around yourself and realize you don't really have what you deserve. And then you'll start to feel more deserving. And then guess what? People will be like, who the fuck are you? And then that's step 4. You got to eliminate the negative idiots around. And especially yourself. So when you start talking shit to yourself, you got to catch yourself and use different words. Someone says, oh, I'm trying to lose weight. Dude, you don't try to lose weight. You either lose it or you don't. So you're losing weight. Like, get rid of the word try. Try and do is 2 different things. Then step 4, get rid of the idiots. Then step 5, figure out exactly what it looks like, how to get there. Draw a map, what does success look like, and then visualize it every single day, 10 minutes minimum. Visualize what it feels like to be there. That's every day. 6, you seek new information every day. Like, daily, I'm thinking about what new information can I get today? I'll take hour and a half, 2 hours of new information every day, minimum. If you're not reading a book every day, listening and seeking new information every day, you're missing a real treat, because not only does it get you smarter, it gets you more open-minded. It starts to teach you that you don't know shit. As soon as you realize you don't know shit, you should be hungry for more knowledge. And not to mention, if you want to change your beliefs, you got to get new information. So that's the sacred six. You forgive and apologize, or you apologize and forgive yourself. You commit to do what you say you're going to do. You freaking start racking up the wins. That'll start to get you more motivated and proud. That you get rid of the idiots that'll reveal themselves through their language. You visualize every single day exactly where you want to go, and you freaking just constantly seek new information. You do that for 60, 90, 120 days, man. I'm telling you, you're going to go, holy shit, dude, I'm a totally different person. You'll start to value yourself. You'll stop fearing other people's opinions. You'll stop fearing failure. You'll start to walk around like you got a freaking big old schwang.
Wow. I am blown out the water. You are on fire, man. That is insane. Brad, the 6 are insane. Guys, if you want to catch up and learn more from Brad, everything is below. Hit him up. Find him on Instagram as well. Go watch his incredible podcast. You need to go and study this guru, because I feel literally life changed from listening to you. So anyone listening right now must feel just blown away. So Brad, what are you passionate about right now?
Just ultimately finishing or getting some serious progress on the mission. The mission is to get the knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it or want it. Because I believe people are failing because they just don't have the right information. There's businesses going out of business because they don't know how to generate leads. They don't know how to do social media. People don't know how to build a personal brand. People don't know shit nowadays. It's almost like we've been dumbed down. And so if I want to live in a world that's more successful, guess what? Everyone in that world, in my mind, is successful. So how do I get everybody successful? Man, we got to get the knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it. So every day I'm figuring out how to, leverage Lightspeed to do that, relationships, the network that I've developed, the circle that I've got access to. Like, I got some power players in my freaking Rolodex. So I'm just passionate about getting to a point that success, that's the norm, dude. The 99% flip flops. Let's make the 1% the broke motherfuckers that don't want to do anything. Let's turn the 1% into the broke sumbitches, and let's turn the 99% into the rich sumbitches.
Brad, I just love this. I could go on forever. Can I just, one final thing, right? They say if the percentage of the wealth in the world is in that 5%. If they took it all away and it was divided up equally, it would go back into the hands of that 5%. What is that down to in your eyes?
Well, it's the truth, because those people are doing the fundamental business basics that are attracting that money. I mean, you have to have financial literacy. Most people don't understand money until it's too late. At the end of the day, money's pretty simple. The money that you earn should be used to generate money that you don't earn, right? With your time, passive income. Now, people can try to be all, oh, there's no such thing. Dude, there's such a fucking thing. Okay. You buy an asset, it produces you money, and pretty soon you have more money coming from your passive income than you do your earned income. But the problem is people start making earned income and they spend it. Well, we got to survive. I know, but then they start making a lot of earned income and then they survive much better. Like, you should have just literally taken a lot of that and started investing. Not all of it. Because again, I'm not one of those take every dime you make, dude. I say you could die tomorrow too. Fuck, you can afford a Ferrari, go get yourself one. I highly recommend them. But not at the expense of investment. Meaning, if you have a money to get a Ferrari, take that money, invest it at 10%, and in 3 or 4 years, that investment would get you that Ferrari, and you still have the asset that'll get you another Ferrari and another Ferrari. So that's the point. So the money gets redistributed. Those people are going to do the same shit. Those people are going to do, commerce. Those people are going to develop businesses. They understand the value and how to make money. Guys, if you guys want to make money, it's real simple. Like literally solve problems. Most people avoid problems. Look for them. Solve them. Charge people to solve their problems, man. It's not rocket science, man. People have problems that you can solve. And guess what? You want $1 million? Solve 1 million problems, or one big one. Like, look around. What do most people do? They're avoiding problems. Natasha, they don't want problems. Ask somebody, you want a problem? They'll be like, no. Dude, I love problems. I see problems as literally, I see problems as games. Like I'm enthusiastic about problems because now I get to solve them, and I want to get good at solving. So I do repetition at solving problems, not avoid them and barely do it. So, and I do that because of one word: gratitude. I wake up in the morning realizing that that's a freaking pretty lucky thing to happen. If I just said, I'll give you $1 million cash, most people would be like, oh my God, I'd be pumped up. I'd be relieved. I'd be enthusiastic. I wouldn't care about the stupid shit. But when they wake up, they don't feel that way. They're worried about paying rent. They're worried about all this bullshit because they're not grateful for just waking up. It's because if I said, I'll give you $1 million, you'd be pumped up. But if I said, I'll give you $1 million, but you can't wake up, you'd refuse the $1 million. So you already agreed that waking up is worth more than $1 million, right? I mean, for me, waking up is worth more than any amount of money in the world. Well, then how come I don't get that fucking excited about it? And once I realized that, I'm like, dude, I got to train my brain to get that excited about waking up. So I put a sign on my wall that basically said, congratulations, you get another day, bitch. And every day I woke up, I looked at the sign and it said, congratulations, you get another day, bitch. And I started to smile. And I literally felt the surge of energy. So I didn't want to lay down. I wanted to get up. Like, God dang, I get another one of these bitches. So I'd pop out of bed and literally be excited to face the problems. Like, shit, I didn't have to fucking figure out how to not get kicked out of my apartment. I got to figure it out, right? It was like a positive thing. Because if most people threw their problems in the middle of the room and everyone saw what they were, you'd be fighting to get yours back, man. You'd be like, holy fuck, I want mine back. There's big problems out there, man. When you wake up, dude, that's a pretty lucky day. You should be as grateful as receiving $1 million cash every single morning you wake up. And then your mindset, your perspective will shift to optimism. You know what I mean? And that, instead of pessimism. And your mindset and your attitude is everything. You know, they say money doesn't grow on trees, right? Do they tell you where it does grow? Did anyone ever tell you where money grows?
No.
You want me to tell you?
Yes.
It grows in other people's pockets.
Bang.
Yeah, so like the money you want and need are in other people's pockets. What does that tell you? Common sense, not rocket science. Go introduce yourself. More hands you shake, the more money you make. That's the beginning of it. And then nobody's doing it. And then I think, why? And then you realize, oh, I know why. What if they fucking think I'm a salesman? What if they think I'm being pushy? Or whatever their limitations are. It's like, who gives a fuck what they think? That's why I gave my kids that advice.
I love
Anyway.
that. I love that. Boom, Brad, you're insane. I fucking love it. Your advice is gold dust. I knew it would be. I knew this was going to be unbelievable. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for everyone's responses. I just can't wait. This is so exciting. And I can't wait to come on your podcast very soon too. So guys, if you've enjoyed today, as I said, his links are below. You can see everything here. And yeah, I mean, just hit Brad up if you want some of that advice. I'm sure he's got ways into his system where you can get those 6 steps. I want to learn more. I'm sitting here like, how do I learn more? It's so dope. I love it. But thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to having you on mine.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed today's show as much as I did. Thank you so much for listening in. I'm so grateful to each and every one of you for spending your time here today on the Law of Attraction podcast. And for those of you that write reviews, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you so much to every one of you, because it's through your words that this show grows. It's through your time and sharing it with friends that this knowledge can go viral, that this wisdom that we share here on the show can reach hundreds of millions of more people all over the world who also are looking to improve their lives, to better their lives in some way. So thank you so much for that. I hope you enjoyed it, and make sure that you hit subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber, so that you are able to get all these shows delivered right to you twice a week, every single week. And we always have the coolest rock stars and guests on this show. So no doubt you're going to enjoy the next one as much as you did this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name's Natasha Graziano. Make sure you hit that link and get your free gift below where you can take away something and practice it today. Thanks again.